Welcome back to The Five. Well, as kids in New Jersey headed back to school today, the state's new anti-bullying law is being called the toughest in the country, and some say that it goes way too far. Critics are arguing that school officials don't have the time or the resources to implement these rules, and another concern is that lawsuits could come out of this law as a result. Now, you may remember that this law was drafted in response to Rutgers University freshman Tyler Clementi committing suicide after two of his classmates videotaped him with another man and then posted that video online. So, look, I think it's about time. I would high-five the state of New Jersey if I actually could high-five a state. Let's take a look at some of the regulations, requirements of this law. Investigation of every allegation of bullying within 1 day. Every school district must establish bullying prevention programs. Safety teams of parents, teachers, and staff. Districts must appoint an anti-bullying coordinator. Now, look, I think the schools have been asleep at the switch for a very, very long time, and I don't think it's too much to ask that parents send their kids to school and expect them to learn and are put at ease that they will be learning in a safe environment.
Okay, well, as you can tell, I don't like bullying. But I was always really uncomfortable. I remember as a kid.
You weren't a bully, Dana?
No. And
no
way.
I
would always feel so bad for it because, you know, like there's like 2 or 3 kids who, you know, that always get picked on, and I'd feel for them, but my parents taught me that was wrong. My grandfather taught me that was wrong. And so I think that what New Jersey is responding to has been a buildup of a lack over the years of parental involvement in teaching kids basic moral values.
Well, and how many times, Eric, do the parents, there's cases of bullying, kids commit suicide, and then you go to the actual parents of the bully who say, my kid didn't do anything wrong. So Dana's right. I mean, it fails at home, so the schools need to step in, and teachers actually might need to do a little bit more work.
Well, teachers do, and so do parents. I'm sure we need a law for everything. I mean, if we had a law for everything that didn't seem right in society, we'd have, you know, a liberal.
But this is a law that's currently on the books.
This
is a law that's currently on the books. 47 states have anti-bullying laws. This is just the strongest.
Can I just? No one wants to be on the other side of this debate. Whenever you talk about bullying, everybody goes, I'm against bullying. But the fact is...
Except Bob.
Yeah, no, but there's the reality here is that everyone says that they were bullied. No one ever says they were the bully. That can't be correct. There has to be bullies and there has to be bullied, and oftentimes they are the same person. You go through life, there will be times when you are bullied, and there are times when you might be the bully. You might not know that you were the bully, but you might have been.
Bullied, and some people say that now I bully Bob.
Well,
yes,
if you want to hear that, I at one time, when it comes to surprise, you was a bully myself, and now I've changed my position. Somebody bullied my kid about 3 years ago, and I took it upon myself to go and punch the lights out of the father, the guy that did it. Now, I have an answer to this.
That's your answer for everything.
No, listen, I've got an answer for this. I think, this is one time I'm going to support the NRA and Eric. The answer to bullying is that you ought to arm every kid from K through 12 with guns, with live ammunition, and nobody will get bullied.
Wait, but we've spent the last month arguing about gun control, and now you're suddenly for kids with guns.
I think the NRA would love to see that, and I think it would probably end bullying pretty fast, don't you?
I agree. It would end a lot of things,
I'm being a little facetious here, but I mean, that's what I think about the NRA.
I can see why the teachers are saying that they wouldn't have time. I mean, if you're going to, you have to investigate bullying within 1 day. What basically this leads to is trial lawyers to figure out a way to go against the teacher.
No, I don't. I think they need to act on this. Too often they just say, "Oh, it's nothing serious," and then someone ends up killing himself. We got to move on.
Sorry.
Speaking of kids, there is a man, according to the New York Times, who has fathered 150 kids. He's a very frequent sperm donor, of course, and now it's raising questions. And we don't know, we're not going to say his name, but it's not Bob Beckel, although I did question it when I heard the story. So some experts are saying there needs to be stricter rules on sperm donors and legal limits on how many kids someone can father when they're giving up their sperm. Bob, I go to you first because what's the difference between a woman or someone who goes to a sperm bank and knowingly accepts the sperm and doesn't know what's going to happen afterward, and then a woman that goes on a date with you?
Not a hell of a lot. Look, Secretariat is a good example of this. Secretariat was retired and put to stud.
And a horse.
And there's a horse. The horse Secretariat.
Thank you, Dana.
Not the Secretary. Secretariat. And he impregnated about, I don't know, 600 horses. And not one of them ever won the Kentucky Derby. So you just don't know. I mean, in my case, I think I could contribute a lot myself. It'd be helpful. Eric, not much, but and Greg, well, you want people who are of some stature.
Greg, but isn't it true that if there's all these kids running around, there could be some instances of incest when they get older? Shouldn't there be some limit so that women are protected or men are?
There's an interesting fact. People are opposites attract is a myth. People are attracted to people who are like them. Status. Looks, education. So
height.
You're more height. So you're more likely to be attracted to, say, your half sister than a stranger. I actually, in a ceremony, married my sister when I was 5. But society frowned on it.
Now you're picking on people from West Virginia and from up in the Ozarks, aren't you?
Oh no.
Yes, you are.
No,
you're doing that inbred
I said
stuff.
I actually married my sister when we were 5 years old.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of right-wingers who married their brothers and sisters who married their brothers. I did that, actually. I went back to them. They keep yelling at me and saying, Becky, you commie son of a... And I get back to them and say, thank you for your kind words. Was it your mother who married her brother or your father married his sister? And this guy from Kentucky gets back to me and says, you lying commie, my father married his cousin. That's all you got to know.
All right. Thanks for the comic relief, Bob. Coming up, you may have seen talented pets before, but we're going to show you a dog that is taking things to the next level. That's next on The Five.
A dog.